Hola!
Nice intro.
Welcome to Primetime Sports. I am Amon Filioff.
And I'm Brad Warnick.
We're here to talk about all things sportsy, like football and basketball and soccer, America football, Liano, and cheerleading.
Cheerleading this week? All right, I don't know about cheerleading we'll get into this week, but hopefully sometime down the road, because that'd be a great topic to have.
Shout out to the Dallas Cowgirls.
But today we're going to start out with, when we go into our segments, we're going to start into some Browns quarterback controversy, if they should do Manziel or McCown.
We'll see if the Browns are going to go to the Super Bowl this year.
I hope not. We're going to talk about some good teams that started off 0-2. And we're going to talk about if we think they're going to turn around. So, like the Seattle Seahawks going 0-2. And speaking of the Seahawks, we also got to talk about Cam Chancellor finally coming back and what impact he'll have on the Seahawks going forward.
Shout out to that. And then when we get back from break, we are going to talk about some college football. We're going to talk about Ohio State and their quarterback dilemma. And we're also going to talk about predictions for college football in Week 4 to see what is happening. And then lastly, when we come back from break, you want to double team this one, Brad?
Yeah, we're going to start off by telling you guys who in the MLB so far who's clinched. And so far there's only 2 teams at the moment of this recording. There's only 2 teams that have clinched. And then
we're going to talk about the Pirates and the first time they've clinched the playoffs in 3 years. That's a big deal for our Pittsburgh fan over here.
Yeah. All right, so for now we're going to toss the break and we'll be right back after these commercials, all right? See y'all later.
Digital media is that field that it's hard to narrow it down to say this is the definition of it, because it's everything that we deal with when it comes to media and technology. If it's media, if it's graphics, if it's visuals, animation, and it's related to computers or the technology or the interfaces that we deal with, it becomes digital media. Those are all classified as what digital media is. So in the technology-driven world that we live in today, everything that we deal with is digital media in some form. It's one of the programs where in the world that we live in, it's all around you, whether it be the packaging on products or the websites that you look at or your phone or what you listen to on the radio or you watch on TV. This is a program that has a very diverse field, so it's not just one specialty. You're getting experience in a lot of different fields, and then you can choose if you want to specialize or if you still want to keep that very broad horizon to it. We've got a lot of certificate programs underneath it, and then it has the bachelor's degree. It's also the program on campus that has its own television station, and it has the radio station that goes along with it. We have student-run programming that goes out on the cable networks, and we have the radio station where we have student-run programs as well. We really focus on what is industry doing right now, what are people that are going to be hiring these students doing, so that's what we're implementing within the classroom. The students are learning the skills and the techniques, the programs that they're going to do once they go get a job. They're using the things that when they put it down on a resume, employers are going to say, that's what I'm looking for, whether it be from programming languages that are being used to the computer technology that's being used. The goal is to teach them the skills necessary to help them find a job after they graduate. This is a field that really allows you to constantly stimulate your brain and keep learning and gathering more information. The technology is constantly evolving, so this isn't a program that once you learn something, that's all there is to it. Because once you learn something in a year, the technology's changed, the program has changed, so you're always having to learn. This is one of those programs for students that love to learn, because you are going to constantly be learning once you go out into the workforce. Learning doesn't stop. We try to make sure that we're on the cutting edge. If it's something new that's coming out, we want to be right there learning it as soon as it gets implemented. And so then we can bring it back to the students and we can start to implement it into the curriculum and into the courses. It's one thing to learn about it in a book, but it's totally different when you're putting your hands on it and you're creating something, and it's, you know, your own thoughts and ideas coming to life in front of you. It's not just sitting in a classroom all the time. You're getting out in the community, in the workforce, getting that experience before you even graduate.
Hey guys, welcome back to Primetime Sports. We're here to talk to you about sports stuff and all the sports stuff that makes the world go round. We're going to start the sports stuff off with some NFL sports stuff. So, sports stuff for the NFL.
All right, so we're gonna start off today. We're gonna discuss some Browns quarterback controversy. We're gonna see if, or we're not gonna see, but we need to argue Manziel or McCown. Who are you gonna take for Week 3?
Week 3, I'm going to take Johnny Manziel.
You think Manziel coming off his first ever NFL win is gonna have some sort of impact ride to project him to the next victory?
Yeah, because there's nothing like adrenaline, and what gives you more adrenaline than when you win a game? I mean, and plus he's Johnny Manziel, so he's got this.
Yeah, but Johnny Manziel in the football isn't the same Johnny Manziel from Texas A&M.
Well, that's okay. They don't need the same Johnny. They need a better Johnny, and I think this is gonna be. He's in his cocoon, and he's gonna come out. He's gonna float. He's gonna fly like a beautiful Muhammad Ali butterfly.
Well, with McCown, you gotta also know he came in as a starter. He beat Manziel in training camp for a reason. There's a reason why he came out Week 1 as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
If he didn't get hurt, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah, but he did get hurt. Think about all the great players that have had moments because players have gotten hurt. I mean, look at Bradford. He came in and he was gave he gave Peyton Manning a run for his record after filling in for Michael Vick, and then they made him the starter. So I mean,
you mean Nick Foles?
I do mean Nick Foles. And I said
Bradford's the starter
because
this year.
There's too many Eagles. They just need to fly together and we need to stop losing games. That's what needs to stop.
All right.
happening.
So before we move on, we need to definitely need to hammer down this controversy right now. We need
Hammer time.
Yes, hammer time. We can
I'll
do
bring in
hammer
a
time
hammer
later.
next
All right.
episode.
All right. Next episode.
Hammer.
So you want Manziel?
Mm-hmm. Well, not like that.
Well, you want Manziel as the starting quarterback for the Browns.
Yeah, sure.
If you can't tell with the jersey in the back, I am the biggest Steelers fan here, and so the Browns are in our division. As much as I want Manziel to do well, I really don't want either one of these guys to be quarterback. If I'm going to have to pick, I would say McCown because he does have a worse QBR rating the last 7 games.
So you're saying you want the worst quarterback?
Yes, as a Steelers fan, I do want the worst quarterback.
So that means Manziel.
Manziel needs to sit the bench.
So he's the best quarterback.
He is
so
the better quarterback of
right.
the two.
So see, I am right.
He is the better quarterback of the two. He does give them the best chance to win. But as a Steelers fan and as a fan of the game, I do want McCown to start because they need to lose a few more games so Steelers can kind of jump up ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to see Manziel do well in the NFL. I think next week of all weeks should be the best week for him to start. The Browns are playing, I think, home against Oakland, which Oakland's already given up 33 points both games. So if he's going to play on any team to give him more confidence, why not the Raiders?
But Oakland's won.
Oakland has won one game, I think.
Yeah.
Oakland, we can find Oakland on these sheets. No, Oakland is 1-1 actually. They did win week 2.
Mm-hmm.
So they are 1-1. But Oakland still isn't one of the better teams. They're not going to be competing with the Broncos or the Chargers or the Chiefs in that division, even though they've all kind of started off the same. But Manziel does give him the best chance to win. But like I said, as a fan of an opposing division team, I want McCown to play so they'll end up losing.
Yeah. Speaking of divisions, let's talk about teams who are normally rule their divisions who are kind of slacking right now. We have the Seahawks, New Orleans Saints, Indianapolis Colts, Baltimore Ravens, Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions, Philadelphia Eagles, New York Giants, and the Houston Texans are all 0-2. When, fun fact, an 0-3 team has never won the Super Bowl. So
we're gonna see this week. There's gonna be a lot of big eyes on the field or on the TV, seeing which one of these teams wins and loses to get that slump off. Teams like the Seahawks, Saints, Ravens, Colts, all these teams are supposed to be good. Supposed to have these great
division.
Supposed to have these great quarterbacks. Have been slumping lately. Drew Brees hasn't been playing as well as he can. Andrew Luck hasn't been playing nearly as well. Joe Flacco hasn't been playing like the previous Joe Flacco that's won Super Bowls or won a Super Bowl. So as fans of the NFL, we need to see if these quarterbacks can finally turn it around and finally produce like they should, like we know that they've been able to do.
Well, I don't know. The Houston Texans came into the season projected to have the best defense in the NFL, and they're 0-2. Like they literally have so many weapons. Like
But
you
they-
have J.J. Watt, which is like a whole militia on his own. Like it
Yeah.
makes.
See, I think it was Vince Lombardi that said defense wins championships,
Mm-hmm.
but offenses get you to the playoffs. They don't have They don't have a good number one quarterback. They don't have somebody that jumps off the paper and is like, that's our guy.
And they're always like consistent enough to never get a good quarterback in the draft. So they need to make some trades. Don't trade Watt. Don't trade Clowney. But get you someone. Don't change Adrian Foster either. Just like so, like you just I don't know what they're doing.
That does hinder their a moment right now because Foster is out hurt.
Yeah.
A few years ago, when Foster was hurt again before, they had a running back named Ben Tate who took over and did a phenomenal job taking over.
Yeah, but he went to the Lions.
He went to the Lions, but now it's Golden Tate actually. Ben Tate's actually a third string running back now for the Pittsburgh Steelers of all teams.
Oh wow.
He's now sitting behind Bell and Williams.
He's never gonna play.
No, he's not, and that's upsetting because he was a good back for a few years there in Houston, and I guess his good days are done. Or if something happens to the Steelers, hopefully not. We know we have some good running backs in our backfield that we can always trust and come into, or come play for us and step up. Speaking of coming back and actually stepping up, Cam Chancellor finally returns after his long
hiatus from the Seahawks
yeah.
because he was throwing a temper tantrum because Baby didn't get his bottle. Baby finally, well, he still didn't get his bottle, but he might get a bottle, so he came back because he might get a bottle.
Yeah, he tried to hold out and restructure his deal left with the Seattle Seahawks, which he still had 3 years left on his deal, which nobody does that. You don't hold out when you still have money guaranteed to you. But with other players on the team, Richard Sherman,
Russell Wilson,
Marshawn Lynch, and the other safety, Thomas, all getting big contracts over the offseason.
Well, they need it, dude, because those are like franchise players.
He needs it too. He's one of their. He's part of the
Legion of Boom.
He's part of the reason why they started 0-2. They've had the quarterbacks the first week when they played Aaron Rodgers, and the second week when they played Nick Foles in
vice versa.
Or vice versa, yeah. One
Rams
versus
first,
Foles, and
Green Bay second week.
And then Green Bay second with Rodgers. Those two quarterbacks average 76% completion rating with passes more than 15 yards down the field.
They only had the pressure coming from the right because you didn't have Chandler on the left because it's like a combined effort.
Well, they didn't. Well, Thomas is not a deep downfield threat for a safety. He's more of a midfield or middle of the field controlling pressure. Chancellor is their hard hitter. Every good defense has that safety that just is there just to hit somebody.
Mm-hmm. I get that. That's what Dominican Sue. He's just there to hurt people.
Dominican Sue's on the defensive line, and he's been doing very well down in Miami.
Yeah, he's doing really well, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah, that's another topic.
But, I mean, Pete Carroll's been making like kind of asinine decisions throughout. Like since the Super, I feel like he lost his nerve after he made that bad call at the Super Bowl because it's been bad call after bad call. Now he's making bad decision.
Well, they're making terrible decisions with newly acquired tight end Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, like what? You have the greatest tight end in the game right now. You're not even playing him like a tight end.
They're trying to make him a blocking quarterback or blocking tight end, keep him in the run game. If you have a dog that looks like a dog, barks like a dog, does everything like a dog.
It's a dog.
It's a dog.
It's not a penguin.
It's not. Yeah, it's not.
It's not a penguin.
Don't change what made that player great. He is not a true tight end. No offense to Jimmy Graham and all his fans. But
that's not an offensive. He's great. He's more of a wide receiver.
He's a glorified receiver. Is all he is. Or is what he is. And it works for him. He had Drew Brees throwing him the football, which brought his numbers.
And you could tell that he was missed on the Saints game because when they were playing Tampa Bay game, I'm a Jameis fan, but they were at home in Ben Stadium. Like the Who Dat Nation should have cleared Tampa Bay, but they lost because Drew Brees still thinks he has Jimmy Graham because he's throwing the ball way too high for him.
He doesn't have a trusted tight end anymore, which every quarterback needs one of those. And if you could look at all the good teams in the NFL, they all have really top-tier tight ends. It could be Dallas with Jason Witten. We have Pittsburgh
Gronkowski
with the Patriots. Miller with the Steelers. Demaryius Thomas was with Denver. He's now with Jacksonville. So
yeah.
Blake Bortles should have a
and then
very good quarterback.
I can't remember his name. A little player, like Denver's player, really short, like shortest tight end.
I don't know who you're talking about. Shortest tight end. I know they have Wes Welker. He's a receiver.
Oh, okay. He looks. Yeah.
He's not a tight end.
He's short though. He's like shorter than you.
Hey.
He's like 5'7".
All right, that's not that much shorter than I.
But that's unheard of in the NFL. Have a 5'7" player. You know what else is unheard of for us to wait so long to have a commercial break?
Yeah, we definitely need to throw this to break. We'll be right back after some commercials. So stay tuned. We'll come back to some college football.
Hopefully we don't get canceled.
Hopefully.
Enactus is an entrepreneurial club. What our goal is to create projects that help better our community and then in reality help make a better world. We work on creating sustainability for our projects and people that participate in them. And we like to try to show people that they can actually use the talents they have to create additional income and to use creativity to create new jobs and positions in our community. That's what our club is all about, is helping people improve their lives. The gallery is actually, there was a local business that has helped us out with product, and what we're doing is we're turning around and selling it to the community. A couple weeks ago we had a local jazz ensemble out there, so we're promoting local musicians, artists, having a place where people can come be part of our community.
My name is Nikki Jones. I am the project manager for the glass recycling project. We take glass from a local restaurant and crush it and tumble it into sea glass so it has smooth edges, and we use it for landscape purposes and art and any other purpose we can think of.
My name is Professor Hernandez. I'm the faculty advisor for the Enactus team here at Gulf Coast State College. And pretty much we've been here working with social entrepreneurship for the last 2 years, going on our third year. Why do we always go back to some form of entrepreneurial venture? Well, because usually the type of needs that we address in the community, if we're working with nonprofits or we are working with individuals or families, at the end of the day, in some way, it works with money. How do they generate more revenue to buy food or to improve their healthcare situations, or even to get healthcare, or to be self-employed if they can actually get a job. So that's where we come in, and the students try to come up with something creative to provide a solution for that community or for that participant. This past year, which was our second year, we invested more than 3,100 hours of community service. A lot of my students have received different certificates for leadership and for community service. Some of them have been considered for special scholarship, and some of them have been approached to do internship at the headquarters of different national companies. Pretty much it's almost guaranteed that if you do well in the team and you do your networking right, you will end up with a job before you graduate.
Welcome back to the show that never quits.
All right, so right now, like I said, when we left, we're going to talk about some college football. And right now, again, like the Browns in the NFL with the quarterback controversy, there's one in college football as well.
I wonder which team does not know which quarterback they want to use. Is it Alabama? No. Is it Oregon? No. It might start with an O, though. Help me out here. Which team has really good quarterbacks all over the field?
Ohio State has 3 top-tier quarterbacks on their team, which to most teams they would kill for one.
It doesn't make sense. I feel like Urban Meyer is holding their girlfriends hostages somewhere. Because, like, you don't have... Why do they play that good? That's unfair to, like, everyone else on the planet that they play so well.
It doesn't help. It doesn't hurt that in Ohio there was really no other top-tier team to recruit players in that region. So you're going to get a lot of the guys from that state to go play for you. With Urban Meyer as the head coach, you're going to get guys from surrounding states to come play for you. He knows what type of players he wants. And apparently it's very, very good dual-threat quarterbacks.
Like, I mean, like, Cardell Jones cannot be taken down. Braxton Miller's just going to run the ball into infinity and beyond. And then Braxton is just...
No, you already said Braxton. It's JT Barrett.
Oh, my bad. Barrett. My bad. There's too many B names in there.
Luckily for Ohio State, Braxton Miller has decided to stop playing quarterback and to solely play receiver. Now, he does do Wildcat every so often. He will step in and play quarterback as a Wildcat option. But it's not going to be an every down quarterback, which helps out Urban Meyer's decision of who to play. Now, the real question is, should they keep Cardell Jones as their starting quarterback, or should they promote JT Barrett to the starter?
Well, JT Barrett's also a really good running back. Like, really good.
They're both very good mobile quarterbacks. They both have strong arms. They both...
But that spin move, though. Like
that was Braxton Miller. That was not JT Barrett.
I know. I'm just saying that spin move, though.
That's a receiver.
I know, but that spin move, though.
That spin move was insane, yes.
Like, because you said they're both are good, so I'm adding to that spin move.
Okay.
At, like, sports science. Did you watch the sports science
on
that?
Yes, I watched the sports science on that.
Like,
That was
25 miles an hour, then stopping and accelerating to 19, and then 25 again.
Yeah, that was an insane amount of spinach and being amazing.
Spinach?
Spinach.
That sounds too close to the word spinach.
I know, but it wasn't. It was spinach.
Spin edge?
Spin age.
Spin E-D-G-E?
No, spin A-G-E. Spin edge.
Okay.
Okay. I think that's still how you spell spinach, but I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
That's not how you spell spinach at all.
Okay.
I hope we edited this out for your sake.
No, we need to keep this in because it's awesome.
Okay.
But we need to go back. Sorry about that, little Bandit. That was not off. That was off topic.
No, it wasn't.
So, who would you take? Would you keep Cardell Jones in as your starter, who came in last year as a third string back, and beat Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship, beat Alabama and then beat Oregon, and his hopes start you guys off 3-0 and number 1 overall. But he has looked shaky the past 2 games. The reason why they keep going back and forth is because neither quarterback has stepped up as the star role as needing to be the starter.
I think they look shaky based on the fact that, I mean, even though he played in those other 3 games, this is still, he hasn't even played a complete season yet. Because, this is only his 5th game. And, like,
6th.
6th?
It was the 6th.
Well, this was his 6th game. But they were saying when he was in the national championship that he has, like, ice water running through his veins. But, I mean, you got to be nervous. Like, you still don't have, like, the pressure. He really hasn't faced, like, Ohio State fans are everywhere. We have a lot of Ohio State fans in Panama City. But eventually he's going to get to somewhere where he's going to an environment where there's no fans to be booing, and he's going to, like, not know how to take that. And I think that's what happened on the road in Virginia Tech. That's why he looked shaky. Because, like, no Ohio State fans were coming to Virginia Tech.
Yeah, that was a very hostile environment for them. Even though they were the top seed, they were huge favorites. They did come in and destroy them. But you can definitely see he was not confident. And it doesn't help the fact that Urban Meyer doesn't push one of them and say, you are the definite starter. We are going with you. The 2 quarterback system, unlike other positions, in my opinion, doesn't work. You can't have your general on the field be switched out every few plays. It's different with the running back. It's different with the receiver core. Those guys can, as much as they're not interchangeable as in like star athletes, but as a unit itself, it's different than being the guy who's touching the ball every single play no matter what.
But you also got to think about, as far as Ohio State, like, shaking the winds, it was also coming in at the fact that, they still had 4 of their players suspended. But they all come back next game. So that's going to be a different Ohio State team right there because your defense is going to come back up. And when you have a good defense, your offense will feel a lot more comfortable. So he'll get probably more comfortable with throwing a pass, knowing if it's intercepted, his defense is going to come back on the field and give him another shot. Because, I mean, literally, I feel like that's the only way, just making comparisons, I feel like that's the only way Everett Golson is doing anything right now because he knows that his defense is going to bail him out of trouble.
Yeah, FSU definitely is...
They're defense strong.
Yeah, they're very defensively strong. They are definitely feeling the loss of of
Winston, Rashad, everybody, O'Leary.
Yeah, their entire offense
Red Lightning.
graduated last year or left for the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, their ball boy even left for the NFL.
So, I mean,
everyone gets drafted at FSU apparently.
yeah, when you're a good team, it happens, man.
FSU does. Speaking of FSU and looking forward, FSU does have a pretty easy schedule coming up. I mean, they only faced 2 ranked teams so far or left.
That ACC though, the
ACC
is
is
going
tough.
strong.
They
Wait, thank you for saying that. Though.
coming up, they're gonna play Miami at home. They're gonna play Louisville at home, which
Yeah.
are 2 very tough. Even though they may not be ranked, they're 2 very tough ACC teams.
They are. I mean, Miami should be ranked in my opinion, and Louisville just almost took down number 11. So, I mean,
Well, then after the Louisville game, they will travel to Georgia Tech,
yeah, that's a
Who is
hostile environment.
ranked.
That's a hostile environment.
who almost beat them last year in the ACC championship game.
Yeah.
So
I
we'll
mean, Georgia Tech is ranked, but they're not ranked high. They're ranked. What are they ranked? They are
20th.
ranked 20. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you still got 10 up on them. So.
Yeah. Then you're home again. Then they're home again against Syracuse. So that should be a very easy win. They should be able to come in and come out with a W.
Honestly, what I'm worried about is Clemson and Florida is what I see as worries down the road.
Yep.
Because you're at Clemson, you're at Florida. Everybody knows. I mean, granted, you're going to have a lot of FSU support because you're still in Florida. But the Swamp is a very hostile environment.
Yeah, that's one of the places. If you're not a Florida player, it's probably one of the worst places to go play. No matter if Florida's good or not, the Swamp is always very, very pro Florida.
It's very to the environment. It's very humid. Like, Michigan cannot come down there and play because they have a different type of weather. Just like I think Florida couldn't go out there and play. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not expecting to go undefeated this year as a Florida State fan.
I'll
wish-
predict at least 2 losses.
I still think we'll make it to the playoffs somehow.
If you win the ACC, which if you lose to the 2 teams I think you will lose to, I don't think
You think we'll
can-
lose to Miami and Louisville, don't
No,
you?
I think I give at Georgia Tech, I give that a close loss. It could go either way. And at Clemson, I've said Clemson since the beginning of the season
You said Clemson since last year.
Yes, I thought Clemson was going to beat them last year, and that didn't happen.
Well, I mean, why do I feel like we played at Clemson last year too? No, we played at Clemson the year before that.
Yeah, last year. You guys played home against Clemson when McGuire was the quarterback for the game. That should have been the loss.
That really should have. I was like, by the luck of God, or whatever you believe in.
All right. Speaking of that, all right. Now that we're that far ahead in the season, it's week 4.
It is week 4.
Predictions for the top 4 teams that are going to be in the college football playoffs.
Ohio State, as much as I hate to say it, because I don't think TCU has the cupcakeiest schedule of the cupcakes.
Mm-hmm.
So TCU, after last year, there's no way TCU is not going to make it in there. I feel like Michigan State is definitely playing really, really strong. I think Oregon's going to lose it this year. I think Baylor's going to fall short. And as much as I hate to say it, Alabama always likes to squeeze their way back in there because you got to represent the SEC somehow. So I feel like Alabama is going to tear up to the 4th.
So you got 2 Big Ten schools,
Versus
and then you have an SEC Alabama, and then you said
Big 12.
TCU.
Yeah.
So Big 12.
Yeah, or Pac-12.
Or no, it's Big 12. TCU's Big 12.
Okay, there's also a Pac-12 though, right?
Pac-12 is
Who decided that?
whoever
saying.
put the divisions together, I guess. All right, so I'm not too far off from you. I don't think there'll be 2 Big Ten teams in it this year. Ohio State's gonna go in undefeated. They do play some tough opponents.
Have you seen the way Michigan State's playing?
But they
though?
don't play Michigan State.
True. That's what I'm saying. I think
So
they both
both
could
could finish undefeated. Which, if they both go undefeated, Michigan State's definitely gonna have to take that 4th spot because of they won't put a 1 and 2 Big Ten team in.
Yeah.
It's gonna, as much as they say it's not based on who wins your
Division.
conference. We saw that last year that it does because TCU and Baylor both tied for the conference championship, and then they voted in a 1-loss Alabama. So I'm going to put Ohio State in for sure. After watching the Ole Miss-Alabama game, I think Ole Miss has what it takes to run the table in the SEC. SEC, to me, does not look as strong as it has in the past.
Definitely. But, I mean, there's still Alabama's the SEC team, and it's Alabama. There's some way Alabama's been in the playoffs for
Alabama could
how
squeak
many
in.
years?
Alabama could squeak in if a few other teams lose.
Which I
think Ohio State and Ole Miss will both go undefeated.
don't forget upset weekend. When does upset weekend come around?
Upset weekends every week, and we had an upset a few weeks ago.
There's always that week.
Oregon lost.
There's always that week. No one cares about Oregon. There's always that week in like college football where like everyone you want to win loses, and there's always a definite week where that happens.
I think that week's always different.
It's like 2 weeks before rivalry week, but it like never fails to happen though. Like the week. I bet you the Alabama and Auburn friends feel like it was last week, but I don't think it is. It's too early in this season.
All right, so I have Ohio State and Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting TCU in it as well because, like you said, they have a pretty cupcake season. They do play Baylor again this year, which that game will determine the conference, essentially. Even though there's no championship game, that's going to be the championship game pseudo. So I have Ohio State, Ole Miss, and TCU.
Why aren't they making a champion? I thought last year they said they were going to make a championship game, so they wouldn't have the problem they had last year again this year.
If they had, if they have it, then that's great. That'll take the game and help TCU make the bid stronger. I didn't hear anything about it, so hopefully they do, so then we won't have an argument again this year like we did last year.
Which they'll argue about something else, I'm sure.
I'm going to look down the list because I don't think Baylor's going to finish undefeated. I don't think Notre Dame's going to finish undefeated. Georgia and LSU will not. For me, it's going to come down to UCLA in the Big 12, Florida State in the ACC, and Clemson in the ACC. One of those three teams are going to finish undefeated. And I think they're going to have the final spot winning their conference and moving on. So right now, I'm going to predict Ohio State's number 1, Ole Miss number 2, TCU 3, Clemson 4. Now, so you have your 4, and I have mine. Out of your 4, who's going to win overall?
Out of my 4, who's going overall? Well, you just got so many weapons on Ohio State. It's easy to say that Ohio State, but and then again, I feel like Michigan State is also super hungry. They've been hungry. They've never won a championship. So they are very – and Ohio State, they've also – last year I think Ohio State won because they were suspended for so many games. So they had so much drive and fire and everything. They also have a lot of weapons. So I don't know. I'm definitely going to give it to a Big Ten team. I say either Michigan State or Ohio State because of the weapons that they have. And Michigan – you see the Michigan State-Oregon game? That was just – like last 30 seconds, was it? That interception?
Yeah, that was incredible.
Michigan State, they're fighters. They'll fight down to the last 1 second. So, it's hard. But definitely a Big Ten team, in my opinion.
All right. I think I'm on the same page. Out of those 4 teams, I do think Ohio State is the most gifted team of all 4. They're probably the most gifted team in all of college football right now. And I just don't see anybody coming and beating them at all. Their defense is too strong. They're too quick.
Their offense is just as strong.
Their offense is explosive. They can bust out an 80-yard play at any given moment. So
Elliott's a beast. And he was a freshman last year, so he's
got the experience now, especially playing the championship game, being the number 1 back. Now we're gonna see how Ohio State rebuilds because they finish and go undefeated for the 2nd straight year and win the championship again. You got to expect half the teams go in the NFL. They're all as soon as some of them are eligible, they're going to jump ship and get paid. So we'll see if that happens this year. How many of them actually leave? And
Cardell Jones had the offer to go into the NFL last year, and he didn't take it. So you never know what's in store with the people.
And we never know how everything's going to pan out.
But you got to keep in mind, a lot of them are going to age out too. Like Cardell Jones, Barrett, Braxton. None of them are coming back.
Well, Braxton has to leave. Braxton's a senior.
Yeah, none of them are coming back. So
Cardell said he wanted an education, so he might stay. Especially if Barrett and Miller both leave, then he's got no one to compete.
Hopefully one of them end up at the Texans.
So we both have Ohio State winning this national championship as of right now. Mm-hmm. We'll come back next week after another week of college football happens, and we'll do this again. We'll have more predictions, see if anything changes from week to week. But for now, we're going to kick it back to a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some Major League Baseball and some teams that have already clinched the playoffs as of the end of September. All right.
Gulf Coast State College is the right place for you. Let us help you fulfill your personal potential. Gulf Coast State College, your community, your college.
Hi, this is Drawing 2. I'm Tammy Maranuzzi, and in the class we do a variety of different things. We start off doing still lifes with different color Conte crayons, chalks, oil pastels, and then we move to the figure and we do 6 weeks of studying figure drawing. We are doing a project right now where the students are asked to identify with an animal or find their spirit animal and do drawings based on that. And that can be using any material such as chalk, magic markers, watercolors. They're just really trying to experiment with different conceptual ideas as well as different art materials.
Hi, I'm Olivia Clemens. I'm an art major. We've been working on our spirit animals, and it's supposed to portray our personalities. And I picked a lion, and I think lions are very graceful and mysterious, and I felt like the oil pastel would be a good medium for this because it's very bright and vivid, and you have the warm color palette that really contrasts between the green of the eyes and the golds of the fur. And I think I'm a very bright, bubbly person, and so I think the colors really help depict that.
So what I'd like them to learn is a few different methods. Everybody comes into the class on different levels, so I want people to learn different methods like perspective drawing, contour drawing, different ways, different types of drawing, and then I want them to walk away with a voice at the end of the class, like trying to think about things conceptually, so not only the material, but how does the material affect how people look at it. So not only am I asking to learn skills or methods, I'm also asking them to think about how those methods and different materials come across to the viewer.
Welcome back, everybody, and as you can see, I have changed my wardrobe because we're going to talk about baseball. We're going to talk about the teams that have clinched the playoffs already. As of right now, it's only St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates of the NL Central. And a crazy thing about the Pirates actually clinching this past week, the Pirates have become the first team in MLB history to clinch on the same day for 3 years in a row. Last year and the year before, we clinched on September 23rd, just like we did this year.
Beautiful day.
So hopefully that means something. So hopefully we get a little bit of luck. Third time's the charm, as they say. We will. As of right now, we are 4 games back of the Cardinals for the first seed in both baseball and in our division. We have about 2 weeks left. We do play the Pirates and the Cardinals do play at home, or the Pirates do play the Cardinals at home in the second to last series of the season. So we'll see if any changes in the standings go. The Cubs are not too far behind in the Central. More than likely, they're going to be the second wild card spot unless they go on a crazy run or we do. Season left is going to be tough for that division. Over the past weekend, we'll have a head-up matchup with the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to the Chicago Cubs to play in Division Series, while the Cardinals go and play the Reds.
Yes. I'm pulling for the Detroit Tigers.
Detroit Tigers are mathematically eliminated. You know that, right?
I know, but I'm still believing in them. We don't quit. But if I had to go for another team besides them, I guess I would probably go for, I don't know. I really want to say the Tampa Bay Rays just because of, home state.
Again, you picked another team that's mathematically eliminated.
I'm still in it. I'm an underdog guy. That's
underdog?
who I am, yeah.
I think they have a 0.1 chance. According to ESPN, they have a 0.1 chance of making the playoffs.
Okay, then I'll go with the Kansas City Royals.
No, you can stay with Tampa.
For a winning team, I will go with Toronto Blue Jays because Drake.
Is Drake in Toronto?
Yes.
Apparently?
Yes.
All right.
It's Drake.
Oh, just like I'm a diehard Steelers fan, I am a diehard
Drake fan.
No.
Oh.
Pirates fan. So, I don't know. Hopefully this year is something different, like I said. teams, pretty much the playoff picture for both leagues have been set up. The only last kind of tick and tack kind of games left are AL wildcard. They have a few teams bidding for that, with the Yankees pretty much a lock at number 2 or the number 1 seed for wildcard. And then there's the Houston Astros, the Los Angeles Angels, and the Minnesota Twins are all kind of biting for that last wildcard spot.
Actually, I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Angels.
You can go with Angels, long shot in.
Yeah, because, Angels in the Outfield was a great movie.
They actually have a very good team. I'm surprised they're that low in their division. They're only 4 games over 500, which is a shock. They have one of the best young players in the game with Mike Trout. They've got a gracefully aging Albert Pujols. Jared Weaver is a captain, ace, strong receiver. Or not receiver, strong pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
My bad.
It's all good.
It's a surprise that team isn't doing better than what they actually are. Hopefully, they are 2 games out of Houston for that second spot. So, and I think they do play. I think the last series they play each other, because they're divisional, they end up playing in the divisional series. So if that happens, it's either the last or the second to last series they play. I don't remember off the top of my head who's home. If I do remember correctly, it is at Los Angeles, because they just finished a series in Houston where they split. They didn't split. They went 2-1 Astros.
Well, it'll be interesting. Well, you know how it is for every sports. It's interesting to see who makes it in, because there's always some surprises, some Cinderella stories, and some upsets. So we'll see what happens. But, we got to talk about our own home court for a little bit. How about some Gulf Coast volleyball? Our volleyball team is great. And they'll be playing their next game October 5th here in Panama City.
At the Billy Harrison Fieldhouse, if it's the right name, I believe.
Yes, that is. If you don't know where that is on Gulf Coast State property. And it is about maybe 500 yards away from where we are right now, give or take.
I don't know about you, but I'm definitely going to be there. I think that game is going to be the first game I'm going to actually be on the desk and help commentating with Mr. James Baxley. And I think we have a special guest that's going to be with us.
I think we do. But, I'm going to be the guy behind the scenes directing. And if there are any problems with how it turns out, feel free to call out Brandon Smith on Twitter, at him on Twitter.
Yeah, at Brandon Smith on Twitter.
At B Smith.
Yeah, at B Smith. All right. They play again the following Saturday at home.
Yeah.
They play the 10th, which, again, I think we'll be there. If not, then I think we may be there in support of our team in the stands. So come out and
either
watch
be
the
in
game
the
with us.
stands or in the trailer. So either way, you'll see us.
Yeah. So,
Come out and support the Gulf Coast Commodores.
Yeah. Starting next week, we're actually going to have a segment here at the end of the show. Every week, we're going to do our own Gulf Coast behind the ball player spotlight.
We're going to highlight them.
Where we'll take a player and we interview them, and we'll have them tell you guys a little bit about themselves.
Yeah. So, once again, thank you guys for joining us here on Primetime Sports. I'm Brad Warnick.
And I'm Amon Filial.
You guys stay fancy.